Hi everybody, my name is Adam from Trade with Precision and welcome to IC Markets Market Commentary. I want to take you through a broad overview of the markets at the moment. So having a look here at Euro Dollar Daily, we can see that actually it is in a downtrend, but I want to switch over to the 4-hour time frame. One of the things that I've noticed here is that we have started to break. We've moved, especially from non-farm payroll last week, we've moved above the 50-period moving average. We've come down now and produced a bullish candle, potentially testing that for support, and we have the 50, the 20, and the 10 in a bullish formation. This is a very similar pattern when we look at sterling. Go here and have a look at it from a daily perspective. Let's go down to the 4-hour. You can see it has also shifted above the 50-period moving average. And so the reason I wanted to show you this is to show you that as a result of non-farm payroll, the way Friday finished, especially if we go back to that daily, it is giving some mixed signals. We can see that we had a bit of a weakness showing up on Thursday, then on Friday, a bit of bullishness, and so the market has to decide what it's going to do. So although the 4-hour shows potential bullishness and therefore hints at US dollar weakness this week, Monday could reverse. That does happen on some occasions. Monday suddenly does the exact opposite of Friday. We could see that Friday gets discounted. I just want to draw your attention to it and basically say that we need to pay attention. What we can see here currently implies a weaker US dollar and a stronger euro and pound, but if it does suddenly reverse again, it's just as a consequence of NFP, and that does happen sometimes. Let's have a look at gold. So gold is incredibly bullish. If we look at it from a monthly perspective, it is definitely overextended. Very nice and healthy trend, but definitely overextended. From a weekly perspective, it is also very overextended. And from a daily perspective, it's also bullish engulfing candle, finished on Friday, also very overextended. So it's higher risk now for me to look for joining this trend at this point in time. I'm looking for any kind of pullbacks and then looking for a nice healthy correction. Also, if we have a quick look across at crude oil is presenting one of the nicest, healthiest trends at the moment. And really, I'm looking for any retracements on the daily and producing any kind of bullish, nice little green candles in the buy zone, which is this area between the 10 and 20. So it's a very, very nice trend at the moment and just looking for some pullbacks. If we have a quick look at the global indices, they are starting to stumble. They've had a really, really good run from a monthly perspective. They're starting to produce bullish candles. And what I'll be looking forward to seeing over the next couple of weeks is, are we going to get a monthly or weekly retracement? In other words, is this the beginning of a potential normal healthy pullback, but on the higher time frames, on the weekly or monthly, bringing it back into the previous highs, maybe perhaps doing a 50% retracement, for example. If we look at it from a weekly perspective, they are all starting to stumble. So here is the S&P 500. If we look at that from a weekly perspective, you can see that it is potentially at its shallowest or at the smallest retracement, coming back into the 10-period moving average, but possibly as far as the 20 or even a little bit further. So that is something to watch for this week. The momentum is certainly shifting from being trending very nicely to starting to go sideways. This is a lot more obvious when we look at the tech 100. If we look at it from a daily perspective, you can see that this upward trend has now started to go sideways. So what I'm looking for this week is trying to get some confirmation. Are we going to get a deeper retracement, potentially down to the 20-period moving average or a little bit further? If that's the case, we could see this market becoming a little bit more turbulent, a little bit more difficult to read over the coming week. Even here on the UK 100, we've got this indecision candle, which could lead to a swing high, which could lead to a bit of a retracement back into the previous highs. Let's look at the DAX. The DAX has been really healthy lately. It's produced a bearish engulfing candle here, which could again lead to a retracement. So I'll be looking for breaks of the lows of these weekly candles on some of the global indices and looking for them to just do a natural healthy retracement pullback on the weekly or monthly timeframes. Here's the ASX as well. Looking at that again, just a breakthrough resistance could potentially lead back. Just see it heading down for a couple of weeks to potentially test for support. Let's have a quick look at Tesla, for example. Tesla here, you can see starting to break through levels of support, still looking relatively bearish while a lot of the market has been heading higher. If we have a look at NVIDIA, for example, here's NVIDIA on the weekly, very nice, has started a bit of a retracement. Is it going to be a shallow retracement before it resumes that, or are we going to see potentially a bit of a monthly correction and see it head down a little bit further? Most of these would be incredibly healthy pullbacks that are needed or much needed after having such a long bull run. Amazon, for the time being, is looking incredibly healthy. It's had a couple of pullbacks recently on the weekly time frame. It's not as overextended. It looks very nice. And then just finishing off very quickly with Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is stumbling at the moment. Another way of putting it, I would say, is to say that it is consolidating, going sideways. And again, yes, if the rest of the markets do see perhaps a weaker US dollar, we might see this potentially a stronger US dollar. We might see a bit of a response to the price action here. Alternatively, the cryptos could go sideways for a bit. They've had a really good run. They might want to recharge their batteries, consolidate before heading higher. Or again, similar to some of those other equities out there, tech stocks, we could see a bit of a deeper retracement down here towards 50,000 or 54,000, for example. So that's it. Plenty to think about. We've got some really nice, strong crude, strong metals. We could see what happens with that weaker dollar or US dollar this week, and of course, some of those equities looking due for a bit of a correction. I'll leave you with that. Thank you very much. Have a great week.